Bonjour. Mishko Paglan Quena Jishnakas Mangdodem. Hi, everybody. My name is Sandy Boucher. I'm Red Thunderbolt Woman of the Loon Clan, a proud member of Seine River First Nation in Northern Ontario, and I'm here today with yet another version of Surviving Isolation. Although I have to admit, I have a very important announcement to make in a little while. But first and foremost, I do want to acknowledge this is the October 9th, 2020 episode, and it is episode number 30. 30 weeks. 30 weeks of turning on the camera and thinking of you and trying to help you survive this crazy time known as isolation. And of course, now we're staging out in Ontario, but still, it's definitely been a different time. Now, before I say anything else, I do want to say welcome to my viewers. If you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe to my channel. I have some exciting things coming up and you're not going to want to miss that. Don't forget to like the video and share it with your friends if you think it would help them out. And of course, to all my amazing viewers on Shaw Spotlight, thank you so much once again for welcoming me back into your home. I totally, completely appreciate it. Now, this week we do again have a theme, and the theme is one that is near and dear to my heart. This week we're talking about identity. We're talking about the answer to the question, who are you? And we're talking about self-determination, two things that are incredibly important to me and my work and my focus every single day. But before we do that, mental health check-in. How are you doing? Seriously. How are you doing? I am concerned. I am concerned about all those amazing people I don't get to see anymore. So I hope you're doing well. I hope you found some kind of normal in the midst of this. I hope you have a support network. I hope you're staying safe and not just going out and doing all those crazy gatherings and things that we're hearing from people. The numbers in Southern Ontario are scary, and our numbers could so easily climb if we don't take this seriously. So please take it seriously. Now, statistics for this show as of October 9th, 2020. 212 days since March 11th, since the World Health Organization declared the pandemic. 212 days. I didn't see that coming. And I know I say that every episode, but I did not see that coming. Now, for me, I have shared in the past, I went 187 days without doing a live event. I can do English, honest. I know I can. Maybe that's because I don't do as many live events anymore. Scary thought. No. I am doing live events again. They're small local events. I actually have one this week, but 187 days I went without. And trust me, I noticed. And in Ontario, we were in lockdown for 129 days from March 17th to July 24th. And I know, as I mentioned, some sections of Southern Ontario were looking at stepping back things, and they've had to. So my thoughts and prayers go out to anyone in that region. So let's talk about identity now. If I were to ask you, who are you? What would your answer be? Well, I'm hoping, I have a couple suggestions here. I am hoping that your answer was not, I'm a mom or I'm a dad. Now that could be true, but that's a role you play. You existed before your child was born, and you were important before your child was born. That's really important for you to realize for your own self-confidence, your self-esteem. So, no, that's not who you are. That's just part of who you are. Now, some people answer with, well, I'm a wife or I'm a husband. And again, no. Because for one, you existed before that relationship, and two, you would exist after it. And I really want to stop and highlight that for a second. We all know parents and often moms who totally struggle when their kids leave home, that empty nest syndrome. And that's because they brought their identity down to just being a mom. Now, I shouldn't have said just being a mom, because momming is super important. So is daddying. But parenting is huge, but it's only part of your being. Now, I know for me, I really didn't suffer empty nest syndrome, but I've always been a career woman. I always had an identity besides loving the fact that I was a mom. So be really careful with that. The same thing happens if you identify as a wife or a husband. Relationships end. Whether it's with the passing of your partner, and my heart goes out to you if that's happened, or if, God forbid, your relationship ended for a variety of reasons. A lot of people struggle, and I know I did struggle with this one because the end of my marriage was so incredibly sudden. I struggled with it because I didn't see it coming. My identity was shaken to the core until I remembered that I was so much more than somebody's wife. Another example is, and men do this quite often, in that they identify by their career. I'm a teacher, I'm a doctor, I'm a construction worker, I'm a tradesman, whatever the case may be. COVID rocked that one to the core because a lot of people were put out of work and their identity is shaken. Again, that's a job you do. It's part of who you are. It isn't everything you are. And the one that breaks my heart the most, and I've heard it so many times that I couldn't even count, when I'm in our communities, when I'm doing my events, someone who answers the question, well, I'm just fill in the blank. There is nothing you could be doing that makes you a just Don't ever establish yourself as a less than, and I don't care how other people have been treating you, because they don't get to decide who you are either. Just because other people look down on you, don't accept that. You are an amazing human being that Creator realized and decided needed to be on this planet. And the sooner you accept that and embrace that and enjoy that, the better for everyone, including every single person that loves you, because trust me, they want you to recognize that. So, if I'm going to ask you the question, I better ask myself the question, right? So I thought, who am I? If someone were to ask me, who are you? What would I say? Well, it didn't take long to come up with an answer. I'm a strong and proud Anishinaabe who is living an authentic, happy, and successful life and showing other people how to do the same. Now let's unpack that. And I did write it down. So I'm a strong, that was the first part, strong and proud Anishinaabe. So let's look at strong first. Anyone who knows anything about strength knows that being strong has absolutely nothing to do with feeling strong. You're strongest on those days when you get out of bed, when you feel like you have absolutely nothing left, and you do it anyways. I know what I've been through. I was a single mom. I've done the poverty. I've watched violence and addictions blow my family apart. I'm a 10-year domestic abuse survivor. Am I strong? Absolutely. And a challenge coming along is not going to shake that identity. It's probably going to reinforce it. So can you see how me saying I'm strong is not dependent on an outside force? That's my identity, and I actually have a whole bunch of things I can call on to prove it. I'm a proud Anishinaabe. Well, I was raised to be. I had a beautiful, strong Anishinaabe for a mom, and she taught me, no matter where you stand or who you stand beside, you remember who you are. And that's what I do every single day. I'm not better than anyone, but I'm not worse than either. And I like the woman I became. I'm proud of the grown adult I became. I've made stupid decisions. I've definitely made bad decisions. But at the end, I like who I became. I love the woman I've become. So yes, I'm a strong and proud Anishinaabe. And again, no outside force is going to be able to change that. I am living my life authentically. Now, that one is huge for me personally. That's one of my core values. This is me. This is the Sandy you would meet in the coffee shop, in a seminar, online, wherever. This is the me that my kids know, my friends know. I have no interest in games or facades or pretending to be anyone I'm not. Honestly, it's exhausting. I don't have time. I'm not going to lie to you because my memory sucks. I'm not going to remember what I said. So I better just tell you the truth. Living authentically to me is the only way to live life because I only get to do this once. If I'm not going to do it as me, who am I going to do it as? And don't they already have a life? Why do they need mine? I know what it's like to try to become someone that another person wants you to. I did that for like 20 years of my adult life, and I can honestly say, looking back at the people I knew during those time periods, they never got to know me because I didn't even know who I was. I was so busy trying to be who my partner wanted me to be, I wasn't even working on becoming who I am. And when I say that, be careful. Creator doesn't make mistakes, and he doesn't make less thans. If you're living who you truly are, then you're living to the best of your ability. You're not selling yourself short. You're not taking the easy route. You're not just following the trend. Those are all consequences of Canadian history, of colonialism, of oppression. Those are those bad habits as Indigenous people we've learnt along the way, and we have to break those chains. We are so much better than our traumas and so much more than what's happened to us. But for a lot of us, we start to identify with our trauma and we forget we existed before. And we can exist after it too. It's okay to heal and let that go. It doesn't diminish it. It just means it doesn't hurt us anymore. So I'm living my life authentically, successfully, and happily. Now, success on Sundays, honestly, means I got dressed. Successfully some days means I cleaned my house or did the kitty litter. Don't mention the kitty. Successfully sometimes means I kicked tush doing a seminar or I finished writing another book, whatever the case may be. Success is different from every single day, and the key is it's defined by me because I'm into self-determination. I decide what will make me successful, and then I'm going to do it because I don't want a less than life. And, by the way, happy. I'm only doing this life once. I'm sure not going to be miserable. I'm sure not going to be unhappy. I'm not wasting my life doing anything that makes me miserable. I love my life. And yes, I am this annoyingly happy because I've taken the steps to make sure I built a life I love. And last but not least, I take great joy in sharing and helping other people to do the same. And guess what? COVID couldn't even take that away. Yes, I had to stop doing public events. Yes, I meant I couldn't go into the communities anymore, but I could still reach you by video. I could still post on Facebook. I could still send out a tweet. I could still do what mattered to me. Self-determination and identity. Key stuff. Now, I did mention self-determination a few times, but let's talk about what that means. And I guess the question is, how determined are you to live the life the Creator gave you, to live it to the best of your abilities? If He gave you brains, then you were meant to use them. My mom would be the first to say that every single one of us is given a gift. The mistake is we often think that it's for us, and it's not. We were given the gift to carry and the responsibility to carry it out because the world at this stage needs us. If we were needed 100 years ago, we would have been born 100 years ago. If we were needed in the future, we would have been born in the future. We're needed here and now, and that's why it is so incredibly sad when someone's voice goes silent, when they don't speak up at that meeting, when they don't speak up when something's wrong or they've been offended or hurt. We need that wisdom. We need that knowledge for the sake of our families, for the sake of our communities, and for the sake of those that come next. So please do whatever you need to do to live and use your voice, not disrespectfully, not to silence someone else's unless they're hurting someone. Then feel free to speak up for the person that they're hurting. If you know someone who's not empowered enough to speak up for themselves yet, please do. But only until they're strong enough. And then, pass that mic over to them. Never get lost in the ego. I don't do this work because it's all about me and I'm the best thing and I'm all that in a bag of chips. I'm doing this because I know what it was like all those years that I was scared stiff to say what I thought or that something was hurting me. And I know how many women out there are still like that. So if I can share what helped me and I can empower them, then they go on after me. I'm 56 years old. I'm not going to be here forever. But if I do my job, maybe the world will be a little better for my grandchildren. That makes me happy. That makes me determined. So does this make sense to you? Just a teaching I wrote down, just looking at the cards I have here. It was something my mom used to say all the time, and I really super wanted to share it with you. Creator, God, higher power, the universe, Dr. Phil, Oprah, I don't care who you believe in, but whatever higher power you believe in, they didn't put you here to fail. They didn't put you here to suffer. They didn't put you here to be in pain or unhappy. My mom would be the first to point out that if you are feeling those ways, chances are really good it's based on decisions you're making, including who you're choosing to spend your time with. Life is too short to be miserable, and life is too short to be sitting next to someone who judges you rather than accepts you. We have to find our fans and our supporters. I am surrounded by so many amazing people who believed in me until I could and then came along for the ride after I started believing in myself. That's the people you need to find. And don't tell me they don't exist. You're not looking. Expand your search area because they are out there. And nowadays, internet, you can find them. Just remember that whatever your future is not a surprise, by the way. I can tell you what your future is going to be. It's based on whatever decisions you're making right now. If you're eating healthy, you're going to be a healthy person 10 years from now. If you're not, that could turn out bad for you. If you're working on building skills and your confidence and your wisdom right now, that is going to pay off in spades in the future. And if you're not, again, that may not turn out too well. There's no dude on the white horse that's going to show up and make this better. Oh, there's no magic win 649 kind of thing. If that's what you're betting on, honey, come on. Come on. But you can bet on you. I bet on you. I believe in you. And if you just take the steps and start putting yourself on the right path, you can get where you need to be. I didn't get here. I've been running my own business for 11 years now. I have 3 books out. Not one of those books was written by itself. It took pen to paper every single day. My first book is over 400 pages long. That took some effort. To have the career I have and the followers I have, a reach of 60,000 people a week, that took building. But you can have it too, one step at a time. Remember, we were not here to fail. It is all a result of the choices you are making. So make good choices because you deserve to have a good life. So, again, we're going to circle back here. Who are you? Who are you? Sit down inside. decide. And I pray you decide to be your best self. Don't take the lazy route. Don't take the easy route. Life is a challenge, but guess what? You're strong enough to do it. And then you get to live the amazing life that you build. Now, I said I had an announcement today, and it was one of the reasons I'm so passionate about my mission today. This is actually the last episode of Surviving Isolation. We've been together for 30 weeks now. For 30 weeks, I encouraged you and supported you, and with Oreo's help, made you laugh a couple of times. I think the rest of this journey is up to you. And you get to decide how well you survive isolation. Now, I'm not going to just abandon you. If you head over to my YouTube channel, all the past episodes are there. And just based on the title, you can figure out which one you need to watch. And of course, they're free. And I'm happy to support you that way. But I can't do the work for you. I can't paddle your canoe. Your future is your future. And I hope you make it an absolutely amazing one. So I was going to say until next week, but that's not the case anymore. Until our paths cross again, whenever that is, wherever that is. That's up to Creator. But until then, please take care of you, because you deserve to be taken care of. I love you. Take care. Bye-bye.